What's going on, Colts Nation? Thank you so much for everyone being here. I want to have a special shout out to Tommy Optimax, Alex Castillo, Alpha Wolf, Brandon Ace, Daryl Ingram, Nomadic Brian. Thank you so much, you guys, for being here. I appreciate you guys congratulating me on the 1K subscribers. Huge deal for me. Huge. That means I can actually be part of the YouTube partnership program finally. That is awesome. Now, I will explain how things will go when it comes to that during my live streams in just a moment. I do want to kind of take a moment to explain something in case you didn't notice. Yesterday, I was fiddling with StreamYard. I wanted to move things around, get some different stuff going. I created a new intro that I'm going to have from here on out after this stream. An intro that I'm going to be playing on all my, on most of my videos, especially my podcast. And I was messing with that. In order to get in to do that, I have to write up create a broadcast. In my stupidity, I didn't have to create it to YouTube, and I did anyhow, and I asked for a name, and I just kind of randomly did this on my keyboard, right? And normally I don't even look at it when I do that because it's gibberish. Well, yesterday it wasn't gibberish, and I didn't notice it. And when I deleted it off of StreamYard, I forgot that I had clicked it on YouTube. And then shout out to a few of you who DM'd me and emailed me and said, yo, dude, you need to delete this because either you don't realize what you're doing or you've been hacked, because it was a really bad thing that I had typed in. It was not gibberish. And I just want everyone to know that it was supposed to be just gibberish. It had no intentions at all. Okay. So just let you know that. All right. I did go in, I deleted it. I've got my intro set. It's my old podcast, audio podcast intro that I used last year before I started doing streaming. So, because I really like that, as a matter of fact, I'll actually show you, since you guys are here, what it is that I did. Let me find it. And
all right. So I guess now you understand what the plan was.
Absolutely. At Colts Law, we talk Indianapolis Colts football.
We're going to stick to what we know, fundamentals and technique, 1% better every day.
All right, so that will be the new intro that I have on all my podcasts. If you like it, don't forget to smash that like button. Let me know in the comments, stuff like that. Yeah, moments of social media faux pas. That is right. You do remember that? Awesome, Alpha. Yeah, it's a good one. Why mess with something that works? What's going on, Aaron Stackhouse? Jack, thanks for the congratulations on the 1K. So moving on. So once I get this YouTube partnership and I get monetization and stuff like that, I'm sorry. I'm trying to make money here. I'm going to end up turning ads on. And of course, the good thing is, at least, there ain't no ads when you're on here on live stream, right? I mean, you're in the chat, obviously. There is a thing with super chats. A lot of you have understood. My Patriots update, thank you. What's going on, Faisal? Appreciate it. Daryl says, love the intro. Thank you. UK Colts fan, thank you so much. So how I'm going to take comments from chat from now on is, number one, any super chats get first priority no matter what. They will get listed immediately as long as it's not something that's, really nasty. You know what I'm saying? I mean, some kind of thing that shouldn't be said on social media. I'm not going to post that, obviously, but anything that's worthy of being on here, I not just worthy, just anything you could put in there. The Colts suck, and I will post it if it's a super chat because it's your opinion and you paid to do it. All right. Now, if you threw out cuss words or something like that, that's really nasty, like talking really nasty trash, I may not. It just depends. But those will get, depends upon how nasty it is. But those of you on the second level, all of you that's been here with me from the beginning, the guys that are consistently here with me, you know who I'm talking about. Alpha Wolf and Brian and even Faisal UK, guys like that, you guys are the guys that'll be on the second level. You won't, if you don't have a super chat in and there isn't one, current, I will get to you guys as well. And then after that, if there's other people that, put in, it just depends upon the question if it catches my eye. So what about the word moist? Alpha says, my wife hates that word. I have no problem with that word. That's just a word, right? I mean, come on. Oh, yeah, the whole do it like DPN. Yeah, I get it. Nothing political. I mean, yeah, I could see that. Let's try not to get political. I don't go political, right? I will talk about facts. Like, if there is politics that directly affect the NFL and football, then I may talk about it. But if it doesn't affect it, why bring it up in a football chat? There's no reason. Like COVID and, the mask thing and, how there was only limited attendances. Yes, that's political, but it had a lot to do with the, what's going on. So with the NFL. So yeah, I'll talk about that. What else here? I got me a new light. As you can see, a lot better lighting here for me now, finally. I might get a second light for the other side, and then I will be set. This side, as you can see, is a little bit brighter than this side. This side is 2,400 lumens, and this side is only 1,200 lumens. Brian, I watch everything on YouTube, but I always know where I am in content and appropriateness. I don't want anyone demonetized. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm that way as well. When I join other people's stuff in their live chat, I don't go in there. I don't troll. I don't spam. I don't talk. Once in a while, I'll talk trash, but it's legit trash. It's not, being nasty about it. What's going on? Ross, appreciate you being here. Alex has been here since you were around 50 subs. Yeah, last year. Yeah. So yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, Alex. Yeah. Here's a good question by UK Colts fan. Who is the biggest priority re-sign? Ty Hilton or Xavier Rhodes? I mean, I love Ty, but feelings not included. We need a cornerback more than a wide receiver. That's a good question. Now, to be fair, priority-wise, I don't think it's going to matter. I think Chris Ballard is going to – I think Chris Ballard's dropped his dropped what he's going to put on both those guys. Anyone that he wants to re-sign for the Colts, I think he's already dropped this offer. I don't think he moves up. I don't think – I mean, he might move down if he so chooses. But I think he gives what he believes. He offers what he believes that player is worth to the team. And he doesn't generally budge on that. So at this point, it's really up to the player from here on out, on whether or not they come back to that offer. Now, to be fair, because of salary cap problems, a lot of these guys are going to probably go out, test free agency, find out, other NFL teams just don't have the money and probably come back and re-sign. But who would I rather have right now? I love Ty. All right. I mean, he's a Colt. He'll always be a Colt in my eyes, no matter what happens this offseason. But let's be fair. Rhodes played better at his position last year than Ty did at his. He's getting up there in age where his speed's starting to drop off a little bit, and that affects his style of play. Rhodes is still, he got better with the Colts. Yes, I'd rather have Rhodes just because I think the Colts need to get younger at wide receiver rather than, that. Now, if Ty comes back, great. I have no issues with it. No issues with that at all. Would you think that Ty Hilton's a good fit with the Pats? Honestly, actually, that's going to hurt me and a lot of my fan base to say this, but yes, Ty Hilton, he's an excellent route runner. He's got good hands. He's got the ability to burn people deep. It's exactly what the Patriots have lacked. Plus, he's a veteran who has no problem bringing guys under his wing and teaching them how to play. And that's something that the Patriots have desperately needed this past couple seasons. Alpha agrees with Rhodes as well. Brian says, objectively, the position needs. So Rhodes, yes. Faisal says Ty's probably gone, and it probably will. Probably. Aaron Stackhouse. No, I get it. Oh, good. Here we go. Predictions on Michael Pittman Jr., Stelios, Theo Harris. If I chopped your name up, I apologize. Depends. Now, if everything is good, Michael Pittman Jr.'s there and healthy throughout the whole season. Paris Campbell's healthy the whole season. Zach Pascal's re-signed healthy the whole season. Ty or an equivalent is there. Jack Doyle, Mo Alley Cox is there. Let's say everyone is healthy. The running backs, all the players are healthy. My prediction for Michael Pittman Jr. is probably about 900 yards. I would say 70 catches, 900 yards, 11 touchdowns. And the reason I say 11, because he's a big target in the end zone, right? I mean, good Lord. He's what, 6'4", 6'5", 230? Yeah. That's how I see it. Jamie Miller. Do you see anyone out there that would make a decent reclamation project for this year? Ballard seems to like those. Yes. But it's sad. And a lot of you might be against it. And I don't know if Ballard would be into it. Now, to be fair, this player was under investigation for, what's that called? Kind of losing my mind here on this. Can't get the word correct. Domestic battery, I think it was. But he just got cleared of all those charges. My cat just hit my damn mic. Good job, Shadow. But Von Miller's had a down season the last couple seasons. I think that he's not a free agent technically, but I think he could be available to grab, and I think he would be a good reclamation project. He's about that age, and I think he'd be a great fit. I think he'd be freaking amazing sitting beside Grover Stewart or DeForest Buckner. Alex says, as much as I love, I don't think he's coming back. It's a possibility. Pittman is a baller. Yes, I agree. Ant Rogers says 800 yards, 7 touchdowns. I think he could get more than that, but yeah, I get that. Who's the left tackle you guys want in the draft or free agency to replace Anthony Costanzo? That's a good question. There's a lot of guys out there right now that I think could fill that spot, left tackle wise. In the draft, there's a ton of dudes. Okay, anywhere from first to second round, I think that Chris Ballard could grab a left tackle. I wouldn't mind getting Joe Haig back if we draft somebody. If we draft youth, we go sign Joe Haig, bring him back. I think. Excuse me. I think he'd do fine beside Quentin Nelson while the rookie fills out that spot and starts to get up to speed to the NFL level. But when it comes to the draft, I know that Alex Leatherwood is a big name, and he's also somebody that legitimately could drop into the draft in the second round. So who knows? Alex says if Campbell can stay healthy, he's going to be our most explosive receiver. Yes, there's no question about that, in my opinion. When he's been healthy, he has been dynamite, and he's had no experience hardly at all. I think he's had a total of what? In 2 years, I think he's had a total of like 6 games that he's played. And every game that he's played, he's been fantastic. He just needs to stay healthy. Does Ben Banigou make the Taekwon Lewis jump? Thanks, Lawrence. Daryl, thanks for the question. That's a tough question, too, because Taekwon was having problems. And the reason he had the jump last year wasn't because of effort. Ben Banigou has been cited for having effort issues, which is why he was healthy scratches for a while. So really, it's on Ben. I think Ben needs to show more effort during practice and things of that nature in order for him to make that jump. Scared. What's going on? Can you make a film room on Malik Reed from the Denver Broncos? That's possible. That's a possibility. As of late, a lot of my film rooms are from Ray Rout from Dear Pats Nation, his requests. And I've got one I was supposed to send off this Friday, but I was really, really busy. He gave me the week off. So I'll have it out the next couple days. But around here, I'll go with guys who either clips my eye or we got my Patreon. I have Patreon supporters. When they ask for something specific, I'll do it. But Malik Reed is an interesting prospect, and I might look into that. So we'll see. Malik Reed is going to replace Von Miller. Interesting. Von Miller's a no-go for the Colts, in my opinion. He wants like 20 a year. Absurd for one player. I don't know how much he wants. He ain't going to get $20 million a year, especially with the fact that he's only gotten like 8 sacks the last 2 seasons. Trent Williams is also going to be like $20 million a year. The Colts cannot afford to drop. Literally, think about this. If the Colts drop 20 mil on Trent Williams, with the extension to Smith and the extension to Big Q, that means the Colts will have dropped $75 million a year on the offensive line. That's a third of the salary cap. There is no team in the NFL that's going to go really, really far with a third of their salary cap on the offensive line. As important as it is, go look at the Dallas Cowboys. That's the one thing that I can show you. The Dallas dropped a lot of money on their offensive line, had the best offensive line in football for years. They didn't get to no Super Bowl. I love offensive line thoughts, but at the same time, you got to understand where you're dropping your money because you need talent elsewhere as well. Jack says, I hope we can get a top free agent and edge rusher in the free agency and a left tackle in the first round. That's possible. But what about a cornerback, right? Jack? I mean, to be fair, Chris Ballard hasn't been very good at selecting cornerbacks in the draft. He's done okay in free agency, but not in the draft. So he might actually, I would not be surprised if he gets an edge rusher and a cornerback in free agency and grabs a wide receiver, which he seems to do okay, in my opinion, outside of the fact that, some of them have injury history, and a left tackle. Because I think he drafts well on offensive line and wide receivers. Would I trade a second-round pick for Isaiah Wynn? What is his age? Hold on. He's young. Still young. I don't know. Depends. I haven't looked at his tape, so I don't know if he fits the Colts. I know that he's a topic that the Patriots fans like yourself like to talk about a lot, so I need to really get in there. Heads up, we discussed Andrew Luck last night on the DPN and dropped your name, bro. Thanks. Thank you. Andrew Luck ain't coming back. Just FYI. My goodness. Sorry, guys, I'm behind big time. You guys are just slamming the chats. Who do you think will be the first Colts free agency moved on off the team? Let's see here. Mo Alley Cox. I think he signs his tender. I agree with you. Unfortunately, we can't expect Campbell to stay healthy 2 years in a row. I agree and I understand. Patriot, you think Melvin Ingram's a good fit for Indy? I think the Colts need to go a little bit higher end on that. I think Melvin Ingram is kind of Justin Houston. We've seen what Justin Houston can do. I think they're similar players. And good Lord, do you think he wants, after what Quentin Nelson did to him, do you think he wants to practice against Quentin Nelson day in, day out? Did you see that video? I'm sure you did, where he tried to do a spin move on Anthony Costanzo. Quentin Nelson just laid him out. Doubt he wants to practice against him every day. I do not want Villanueva. I do not want Villanueva. He after watching film of the Pittsburgh Steelers last year, his ability has dropped dramatically last year. I don't think he's going to be good enough, in my opinion, to be he'll be a starter most likely somewhere. But I think there are a lot better options out there in free agency. Obviously, Cam Robinson, Russell Okung. Yes, I get that. No pass, Jim. Thanks for subbing. NFL season is over. Hello, bye. You guys talking to each other. That's awesome. Aunt Roger said the same thing I brought up. Hopefully Trey can stay healthy because he was really starting to get going before his injury. I agree when he broke his ankle late in the Kansas City Chiefs game in 2019. I think he was the highest rated pass rusher in the NFL that week, or that until that happened. So yeah. But it looked like he was still being affected by it last season when he finally got back. Hopefully, he's able to recover fully of this offseason off of it. You don't think you'll sign him? Just saying. Okay. Jack says, hopefully we re-sign Rhodes. I think it happens. The rumor is that Chris Ballard offered $9 million to Rhodes, which is right about where a lot of places like Spot Track is estimating his worth. Rhodes hasn't signed that contract because he thinks he's going to get more. I think if he doesn't get more than an $11 million offer from another team, I think he'll come back and to the Colts just because of familiarity and success that he had here. So I think that's a good possibility that he could come back, especially since, the COVID situation dropped salary cap to 180 mil. A lot of teams are in desperate need and they just don't have the money. I mean, there's only 7 teams in the NFL right now that have $30 million or more cap space. There's just as many teams in the negatives as there are teams with more than $30 million. So that says something. What round do you think we grab a quarterback if we do? No higher than 4th round. I could see him grabbing a 4th round quarterback if it, fits his fancy. But I don't see him going any higher than that. Not with a 4-year, $25 million a year contract with Carson Wentz. Not right now. Not when we have him and Jacob Eason sitting in the back wings of him. I don't see him going hardcore into that. And to be honest, he might not even draft a quarterback because there's still questions on Eason and questions on Wentz. They may legitimately go get a proven veteran to play just in case both these guys fail. A guy like Alex Smith or Fitzpatrick or someone like that. I wouldn't be against it, just to be safe. Jacob Eason's another Justin Herbert. He should start. Wentz is damaged beyond repair. I don't think so, Michael Partner. When I look at his film, I got a film room on him. His damage, his bad plays, a lot of those had to do with play calling, putting him in a bad situation, offensive line, putting him in a bad situation, weapons, putting him in a bad. He just did not get any help last year from his team. Frank Reich will do a lot better play calling wise to help him out. He held the ball way too long. Frank Reich will fix that. No guy, since they've been on the Colts, have held the ball longer than an average of 2.8 seconds. So, that's something that will help him out dramatically. I mean, when you only play 12 games in a season and you're sacked 50 times, that's going to mess with you up here. And that's the only issue that I have. I think if he could reset himself and come into this fresh, I think he'd be fine. But we'll see. Big money at center as soon as left guard and right tackle. It's a must to find value players at left tackle and eventually right guard. Agree. I think Danny Penner was drafted to replace Mark Glowinski over there at right guard. CJ Beathard, I didn't think about that either. Yeah. Wow, I just skipped a whole bunch of people. Mo Alley-Cox will be a top 10 tight end next year with Wentz's arrival. That's a good possibility. He fits the exact profile that he loves. That's the truth. If Colts sign Aquara, Awuzie, I don't like Ryan Kerrigan. Draft Bateman at 21. Walker Little, is that a team that could challenge for the Super Bowl? I like Aquara. I like Awuzie. I don't like Kerrigan, and I don't know much about Bateman. So I can't give you an honest answer about all that. Bill is good for 1 year, though. Do I think that I'll do film rooms on drafts prospects? Yes, as soon as free agency starts. Okay, I'll start dropping them. But right now, I'm doing other stuff like free agencies and stuff like that. What about Trent Brown? He's a possibility. Depends upon how much he's wanting. I don't know exactly how much he's wanting, to be fair, but I think he probably will stay in Vegas. I think the Raiders find a way of keeping him. The only issue is, the money, right? For them. Good question here. Do you think the Colts will make a run at Yannick or Judon? I don't see my Ravens being able to keep either one. How much pass rushers are going for nowadays? Oh, with how much pass rushers? I think the Colts could go for one or the other. I think they would probably go for Yannick over Judon, but I wouldn't be surprised for either one. I know Judon wants a lot of money. I think Yannick might actually be less and have a higher ceiling. Rhodes is worth 7 to 8.5, he thinks. Well, like I said, Ballard offered somewhere just under 9 from what I'm understanding. So we'll see where that rolls to. Can't wait for the Saints fire sale. It's already started, right? This week, today's Sunday. So this week, the fire sale will start hitting. Like I said, I can't give you much takes on college. I've explained this to some people before. I don't watch college football through the year. I start watching it right about now, actually. About 1 week before free agency starts, I start watching those football games. So I will get more of an idea of who I like. Because during the football season, I'm so stuck on the NFL, so busy dealing with the NFL that I can't go to college. So I have to wait until the off season, and then off season is so busy that I have to wait until free agency before I can really start getting into college football. I assume this has to do with Wentz, and Dan got the plan. He had to play hero ball. He had to play hero ball all the time, right? Trey Hendrickson, Nomadic Brian. Trey Hendrickson had 13.5 sacks for the Saints. Yay or nay? Again, price range. If he wants more than 13, nay. If he wants under 13, I could see going for him. Right now, we had this discussion Friday on Colts Law Podcast when I had Philip B. Wilson about how Ballard really kind of has to be a little bit more frugal than what people realize. Even with 40, 45 million in cap space, there's so many spots on the roster, starting spots, that he's really kind of be frugal with it. I think that once the top 6 teams spend right away. I think what Ballard's probably going to do is he's going to pull off what he did a couple years ago. He's going to wait for that frenzy to go away, that first week to go away. See who's left. And because of that frenzy, all these other teams, they have spent their money, right? They have blown their money, and there won't be very many options for players to go to, and that's when he'll strike and he'll find his guys, because there'll still be very good quality guys out there that he could drop an offer to and not have to overspend for them. Ross says, got to run. Congrats and all your success. Appreciate you, Ross. Appreciate you. Need to take a good look at Carl Lawson. I like Carl Lawson. I just don't know how much he's going to want. Judon is so good, though. Is he? Because you think about Judon. There's a reason why the Patriots didn't want to extend him. There's a reason why they tagged him rather than extended him last year. I'm just saying. If he was that good, they would have gave him the money. If they felt he was worth the money he wanted. And if there's a team that knows how good he is, it would be the team that he's been playing on, right? So, I hear Judon wants over $16 million a year. I mean, that's a lot of money. Teddy Belcher, who's your 17th game? I have no idea. I'm not even going to guess. Is Malik Hooker a free agent? Yes. And if your team signs him, good luck. I hope he can stay healthy with you. Because when he's healthy, he's pretty darn dynamic. But, man, the guy has been hurt all 4 seasons for the Colts. And there goes. That's what I heard. Yeah, Tampa is the 17th game. I forgot about that. What's the holdup, he says, about Jacob Eason? That was in high school. And he does have a great arm. I think he had the best arm in that draft that he came out of, Michael Parker. Go check out my film room on him. I explained he has an issue throwing while on the move. Okay? He has an issue with reading a defense sometimes. And he has an issue with how he moves in the pocket presence. There's a reason why he fell to the 4th round. There is still a lot that he needs to work on, especially at the NFL level. Great arm talent, though. Great arm talent. Of course you like. I'm sure Ray Rout has completely and utterly blown Hooker to New England out the water, right? But you guys got a couple safeties over there. One of them's a little older, though. He might not, like Chung, right? He might not be around for long. Thank you so much, Jackson Real, and congratulations for the 1,000 subs. Appreciate that. Would I trade for Brandon Graham? Currently, right now, I don't think Brandon Graham is, I have a problem getting Philadelphia pass rushers. And let me explain why. The last time the Indianapolis Colts went after a Philadelphia pass rusher, he was okay, but not spectacular, underperformed considering what was spent on him. Now, granted, that was during the Ryan Grigson era, and that was the Hunter. So I don't know. I'm not sure defensively if the Eagles defensively, schematic-wise, fit the Colts. But we'll find out. Yeah, Tampa, that's what I heard. Yeah. I do not understand this question. Somebody please explain this to me because I don't understand what that is. Maybe it might be a social media thing that I don't know because I have no idea. John Simon from New England seems like an indie guy. Just take a guy, John Simon. This must be a joke because you guys got John Simon after Indy cut him because he wasn't schematically a fit. He's a tough, hard-nosed worker. I mean, he fits the Patriot way, but man, I mean, he fits the Colt way too, but he just doesn't fit in a 4-3. I don't know if Leonard Williams is underrated. Last year, Leonard Williams blew up. Leonard Williams might get a lot of money. I'm telling you. This is my opinion on that. A.J. Brown's not a free agent. He's only been in the league 2 seasons. They didn't drop him. I'll tell you what, if A.J. Brown wasn't free, if the Titans released A.J. Brown, you would think Ballard would be all over that. Because, honestly, he was my wide receiver I wanted the Colts to grab last year. I'm okay with Michael Pittman Jr., but I wanted A.J. Brown. Or not last year, the year before. And it was Paris Campbell that we grabbed rather than A.J. Brown. Yeah, that was it. My bad. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah. But yeah, he was the wide receiver I wanted the Colts to grab. I don't think the Colts will sign Lawrence Guy because we got our defensive tackles fit. We just gave we traded a 13th overall pick and then gave DeForest Buckner a 4-year, $21 million a year extension. And the year before that, or last year also, we gave Grover Stewart a 3-year, $10.5 million a year extension. We have our defensive tackles set, at least our starters. I think if Rhodes wants too much, we should go and get Lattimore, a lockdown CB1 spot for years. Yes. I would trade our first overall pick for Lattimore in a heartbeat. Number 21 for Lattimore. Because in my opinion, Lattimore is a top 5 cornerback, loves to play physical. He would fit perfect in this scheme. And Matt Eberflus's defensive scheme. Perfect. Plus, he could play man coverage the way Rocky Sin can't without drawing a penalty. And he could teach Rocky Sin how to do it without drawing a penalty and still be very, very physical. Yes, now this is true. Jacob Eason getting the backup spot would be huge for his development. Word was he wasn't getting many snaps in practice at QB3. QB3 never does get a lot of snaps. Oh, it was Devin McCourty that's getting up. I thought Patrick Chung was getting up there too. Either way. I know McCourty is, yeah. Is Marlon Mack coming back? What's going on, Swaggy? I'd like it. I'd like to see the Colts. Unless there's a team out there that's like, you know what, Marlon, we'll give you $8 million a year, like Buffalo, because Buffalo needs a damn good running back. The Jets need a damn good running back. If a team doesn't offer him $8 million a year, I could see the Colts giving him $3 or $4 million for a 1-year prove-it deal to kind of help get him back, show that he still has that elusiveness and spark that he had before the Achilles injury. and basically run alongside Jonathan Taylor. I'd love it. That'd be so great to have Marlon Mack and Jonathan Taylor. And that means we could use Naheem Hines more in a slot as a wide receiver once in a while and use him for those special trick plays and things like that that Frank Reich loves to use so much. So, yeah, I'd be all for that, man. Jackson says if Matt come back, we'd have the best running back core. Utterly agree. I figured it was a joke. No, I don't use Zoom, my guy. I use StreamYard. You just want me to take him. Talking about Lawrence Guy. I don't think it's mechanics. Let's see, here's the thing. I don't think it's mechanics itself. I think it's timing and decision making. All right. I think it has a lot to do with that. Timing and decision making. Because his timing was all screwed up because his offensive line was so bad. And his decision making was screwed up because his wide receivers weren't able to get open in the amount of time that he had to get rid of the football because his offensive line was so bad. Okay. Yes, he has a few mechanical issues. But those mechanics, I think, would be fine as long as he hones the rest of his game. Like Phillip Rivers. Phillip Rivers' mechanics was so freaking out of shape, they didn't fix him. Why? Because when you throw like that for so long and it works for him in high school, it worked for him in college, it worked for him at the beginning, all the way up until last year. I mean, come on. Last year was the first time he threw for more than 10 interceptions in a season? I mean, he had 3 years in a row where he only threw 7 interceptions before last year. He was fine. Last year's team was just really, really, really bad. At least that's how I saw it. How would you trade Russell Wilson? How about 3 firsts and Marcus Mariota? Raiders always overpay. How would that be overpaying? I mean, seriously. A guy like Russell Wilson? If the Raiders could trade 3 first-round picks and Marcus Mariota to get Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson, they should just go, here you go. They've got the dynamic run game. They got Jacobs. They got great wide receivers. They've got an offensive line that's pretty darn good. Not great, but pretty good. And their defense is up and coming. Not great, though. So, yeah. I would deal with Will Fuller on a 1-year deal, depending upon how much he wants. But I'm understanding Will Fuller's probably going to want a lot of money. But he's a deep threat, and he's kind of that. The only issue with Fuller is I'm wondering, can he go over the middle? Can he do crossing routes? Can he do drag routes? The way we used Paris Campbell. Because he would be like a second Paris Campbell, in my opinion. I don't think it's a money issue for T.Y. T.Y.'s made his money. I think it's an issue of he wants a ring. He's been in the league for this extended period of time now. He hasn't gotten a ring. I think he's ring chasing. And he's got to make a decision on whether or not he believes in Carson Wentz or not. That's what I think. Lawrence Guy's an edge? I thought he was a tackle. AB, not AJ. See, I'm way behind, guys. I'm sorry. It's AB. No, I don't want Antonio Brown. Thanks, though. He did say Titans. That's true. Do the Colts take Najee Harris if he's available? Seems with injuries, you need 2 running backs nowadays. Colts have multiple running backs. Seriously. Jonathan Taylor, solid as heck. Naheem Hines, very good change of pace back. Jordan Wilkins is underrated as a crazy person. Jordan Wilkins is a really good runner. Just people don't know about him because he's the 3rd string running back. But go look at his average per carry for his career. And then you'll be like, oh, because it's over 5 yards a carry. Would I want Pierre to Sear back? No. That's how I'm gonna leave it at that. No, I don't want Pierre to Sear back. What's the point for Mack? Because Marlon Mack is good all the way around. He is a great all-around running back. I mean, he can run between the tackles. He can break it outside. He's good at yards after contact. He can catch the football. He's just a really good all-around running back. Will the Packers bring in anyone in free agency? Probably. Tough Puppy says, best running back core. Browns have the best running back core. Not if Marlon Mack's with the Colts. Not if go look at averages and stuff. I think the Colts have the best running back core overall. They have maybe the best 2 starting running backs, but I'm talking depth all the way down. Do you think Patman can develop into a contributor, maybe 4th? It's possible. Des Patman's that guy. I think Des Patman's ceiling is Zach Pascal. Kind of similar. Interesting question. In order for a running back to be better than what he actually is, it's the same way with the passing game, okay? You need to complement each other. If an opposing team knows you're going to run the football all the time, then it's going to be harder to run the football because they'll crowd the line of scrimmage. If you could have a passing game threat downfield to kind of back those safeties off and back those linebackers off the line of scrimmage a little bit, that's going to help Harris any running game for that matter. So you need some deep threats. You need a passing threats to help your run game. The Colts had that same problem the past couple seasons before Phillip Rivers. Rivers was actually able to stretch, do the 15, 20-yard passes. Now, obviously, he wasn't throwing 45, 50 all the time, but he could get those 15 to 25-yard passes to kind of stretch it out a little bit, keep those safeties back a little. And in order, when he was able to do that, that really opened up the run game last year. But yeah, so that's a whole situation of you need a passing game to help your running game. Well, yeah. Obviously, Watson is better than because of age. But their game is very, very similar. Okay? But either one of them, you give up 3 first-round picks for. Because Russell Wilson, even if you give up 3 first-round picks for Russell Wilson, he's still going to be playing at a top level for the next at least 5-6 years. And if that's the key to getting you to a Super Bowl or even multiple Super Bowls in a 5 or 6 year period, then it doesn't matter if you gave up 3 first-round picks because you made it. And it makes it worth it. Yes. Now, I explained that earlier, Jamie Miller. She says that, Jamie says, you keep saying all these guys are going to want a lot of money. They are going to want a lot of money once free agency starts. But once you get past that first week and the top teams spend their money, then the numbers are going to be down, not be able to spend as much, blah, blah, blah. Yes, that's exactly it. Yes. So that's why I'm saying I think Ballard sits that first week of free agency, especially this year, and gets really good quality players at a decent price afterwards. Can? Yes. Will? Probably not. Just saying. I mean, when was the last? I get the only team in the last 2 years that Antonio Brown has not acted like a, pardon the expression, jackass, is whatever team he's been on over the last few years. He has played or acted crazy. So I don't trust him on the Colts for that reason. Colts are a contender at elevator raise. I don't see him. I'm not saying elevates. I'm saying forgets last year. Just forget. If he played 2019, Carson Wentz, Colts are a contender. Everyone's well, he's been poor in 2019. Go look at what he did in 2019. Actually look. They were like, well, he regressed. Did he? Because honestly, his numbers look pretty darn decent, and he played halfway decent, but that was the beginning of the fall for the Eagles. So I just feel like if he just forgets last year and plays like any other year that he's been in, the Colts will be able to go to that. Ryan says, do I think Andrew Luck would come back out of retirement? No. I think he's perfectly happy. He's made his millions. He's got a family. He doesn't have to worry about getting hurt on a consistent basis. That's what drove him into it, where he could not get away from being hurt daily. For like the last 3 years of his career, he was hurt day in, day out. He got sick and tired of it, and that's why he retired. I don't think he'll come back out of retirement. I like Mack, but why would we resign a running back coming off an Achilles? Because we know what he was able to do otherwise. And honestly, $3-4 million for a running back is cheap, especially if he could play the same that he was before. I don't know. Give him the contract, but no guarantees. That way, if he shows that he can't perform the level that he needs to be, the Colts can cut him. All right. That way, there's no issues there. That way, there's no issues. Just don't give him any guarantees. Give him a chance to prove it. Yeah, the Cowboys have got a good depth too. Tony Pollard is a very good running back. No. Why would they get older when they're so young at running back already and very, very solid? So no, I don't see them signing Adrian Peterson. Hold on, my wife needs my phone. The alarm will be going off here sometime soon. Huh? Okay. That's my point exactly. That was my point exactly. Interesting. Why not grab Gardner Minshew? He's young and cheap and available. Elbow cough. Because I think Gardner Minshew, other teams need Gardner Minshew more than the Colts. I think he could go to multiple teams and perform well. I think Gardner Minshew is a possibility for the Jets. I think Gardner Minshew is a possibility for the Patriots. I think Gardner Minshew is a possibility for multiple teams out there right now. I think Gardner Minshew is a situation where coming to the Colts makes no sense for him because he's, in my opinion, not better than what Wentz can bring. And he's got a low floor. Gardner Minshew has a low floor, high ceiling. But so do the other two guys at quarterback. I would rather have a vet who you know what you're going to get from because he has a high floor but a lower ceiling. You know, someone that you know he's going to play in this area. Not necessarily higher than that, but definitely not lower than that, just in case your other two quarterbacks drop off the face of the planet. Jake the Gamer, 1109. Thanks for joining the stream. And guess what? Says Aaron Rodgers is the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He was last year. He earned MVP for a reason, okay? He was better than every other quarterback in the NFL last year. And he's solid. Like, he's going to be a Hall of Famer. He needs to get to the Super Bowl again. Alpha Wolf. Which team goes from terrible to terrific this year and vice versa? This is an excellent question, Alpha Wolf. Holy crap. Make me think on the spot. That one team that can go from bad to good. I think the Giants have the possibility of going from terrible, maybe not terrific, but playoff caliber. If Saquon Barkley comes back, they get their offensive line fixed. They have a defense, and they can get themselves a wide receiver. I think they can go from terrible to really good and become a playoff team. As long as Daniel Jones can find a way to fix that turnover issue that he had, I think that's a good possibility. Now, reverse terrific to terrible. Ooh. That's a Pittsburgh Steelers. What was their record last year? A lot of people argue with me that they were already terrible, but hold on, let me look. They were 12-4 last year. I think they'll have an issue making the playoffs because they're going to lose people because of contract issues and salary cap issues. They're not going to have Bud Dupree on that team no more. They're not going to have certain players on that team anymore. They'll be lucky to keep Juju Smith-Schuster. They might tag him, but there's a lot of issues with the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. I think they're a team that could legitimately fall out of playoff contention next year. So there you go. I'm sure you covered this, but we haven't heard much about what we do to replace Anthony Walker. I'm holding out that Anthony Walker stays. I don't expect it. He's one of my favorite players on the team. I wish we could keep him. I don't think he's going to. How do we replace him? How do you replace a guy like that? He's a solid tackler. He's very good at reading. You can't reading an offense, getting people in position. He's a coach on the field who could play very, very well. You cannot replace guys like that just willy-nilly. I think they're going to end up slapping Bobby Okereke at the mic to try to replace him. He does have tackling issues. Bobby does. He also has issues of coming off of blocks, separation off of blocks once in a while. But when it comes down to running the actual 4-3 rather than a 4-2-5 nickel, I think since we don't run the traditional 4-3 that much anymore, I think some of those other guys that we have on the team, especially the Colts guy who, hold on, Colts COVID list. Jordan Glasgow and Robert Windsor. No, not Robert Windsor. I'm sorry. Jordan Glasgow. He was a young guy. I think he might have a shot at doing that. And he's already on the team. So we'll see. I think he was actually drafted to do that because he was very similar to Anthony Walker. Interesting for the Patriots update says terrific to terrible, Saints or Steelers, terrible to terrific. Of course he's going to say Patriots. Jaguars, Washington, Niners. Niners definitely terrible to terrific. I'm not going to disagree on that. I don't think the Jaguars are going to do that well. They're still losing talent. So what? They have Trevor Lawrence. Name one first round. Name a team who drafted a quarterback number 1 overall that was really good the next year. You can't. Even when the Colts drafted Peyton Manning, they only won like 4 games the next year. So that's just filling one spot. I think that the Jaguars got offense though, but it doesn't work like that all the time though. That would be an impressive feat because I think the Colts will have at least 10 wins. I think the Titans will at least go 9-7. So to have 3 teams that have at least 9 wins in the same division, that's pretty impressive. Is the days of long-term running backs over? It's like get a 3-year rookie and move on to the fresher legs. The game is too brutal. 2 contracts. Is it though? All right. Alvin Kamara got his extension. Look how he played last year. Right. Now, to be fair, no one expected Christian McCaffrey after his extension to have what he had. Look at Dalvin Cook got his extension. Look how he played last year. Right. So it's kind of a depending on the player. And it's weird because Dalvin Cook was known for possible injury issues beforehand, but he still blew up last year. So I'm a little worried. I think you give them, and what's really weird is McCaffrey, Kamara, Cook. Those are guys that get majority of the touches on the team between catching and running. Guys like Jonathan Taylor, he gets a lot of carries running the football, but he doesn't get a whole bunch passing. He's got a few. But Taylor, I don't believe in the tread. I mean, Adrian Peterson has a ton of tread. Frank Gore had a ton of tread. They're still playing in the NFL. I mean, come on. But 8-8's not terrific. Okay? That's the thing. I could see them getting an extra 5 wins. But how much better is Trevor Lawrence than Gardner Minshew? Gardner Minshew, you guys are talking him up. He must be a decent player. I think Minshew's a decent player. That defense with the Jaguars was freaking awful. I mean, awful. Jonathan Taylor smashed records on that team in week 17 last year. 253 yards rushing for a rookie running back. Right? That defense was terrible last year. Their offense was good, but they got too many holes on defense. And free agency, you can't plug everything. That's an interesting question, Daryl Ingram, on Solomon Thomas. I don't think Solomon Thomas is an explosive defensive end. Solid. Depends upon how much money he wants. Obviously, that has a lot to do with everything. Money has a lot to do with everything. Alex says, I'd take Wilson over Lawrence. I'd take Watson over Lawrence. The only thing with Wilson, you know what you're getting right now. You don't know how long you're going to have that because he's, 32? So you may have him at this level for the next 5 years. You might have him for 10 years. If Trevor Lawrence plays to his capability, you'd have him for 15, 20 years. So that's the give and take in that situation. Stelios, did I see Chris? Yes. Come on, guy. I like Zach Wilson. Chris Sims is a nutcase. And generally, I like Chris because generally Chris Sims is one of those guys who has a solid head on his shoulders. But you know who wasn't just Chris Sims that ranked him that high? Another guy, ex-Colt quarterback that talks a lot. He also ranked Zach Wilson above Trevor Lawrence. Are you kidding me? Oh, he's talking about, okay, my bad. No, I wouldn't take him over that. My bad. I still wouldn't take Zach Wilson over him. I think Trevor Lawrence has got the best. I think Trevor Lawrence has the best high-end ceiling. But Zach Wilson has that possibility. People talk about comparing him with Patrick Mahomes, right? I saw that. Patrick Mahomes was not thought to be Patrick Mahomes in college. Coming out, everybody didn't see Patrick Mahomes coming out, and no one ranked him as the best college quarterback coming out in that draft. Nobody. Okay? So how are you to say that, well, blah, blah, blah. I like Zach Wilson. I think he'll probably go to the Jets. I honestly believe it. I want Curtis Samuel or Allen Robinson for defenses, Romeo Kamara or Bud Dupree. Allen Robinson's my favorite wide receiver in free agency. The Colts absolutely cannot afford him. They may be able to afford Curtis Samuel. Allen Robinson's going to be, he wants $20 million a year. Actually, from what I understand, he wants $25 million a year. And frankly, I think he's worth it. But the Colts can't afford $25 million a year. That'd leave him, $20 million to spend to fill the other spots? There's just no way. Curtis Samuel, I love Curtis Samuel. Aquara or Bud Dupree, I'd be okay with that as long as they're not spending more than 11, 12 million on them. And I think that both of them will probably want more than that. So we'll see, wait and see on Rhodes offers. Yes, I think John Johnson, I think that's exactly what we'll end up doing. Yes, but he ain't perfect either, right? Chris Sims' ranking on quarterbacks are not perfect. This is a good situation here. Yes, it's always situation, schematical fit for the team. Here's the deal, though. Lawrence and Urban Meyer, I think, will be a good fit. I just don't know how good. And Actually, the offense for Jacksonville is really good. They got Laviska Shenault. They have Sharp. They have James Robinson. They've got weapons. They've got a good offense. Their defense is awful. I don't like Godwin. I think he drops the ball too much. But yes, Robinson is just going to be way too expensive. I think Godwin gets tagged anyhow. Him and Golladay, I think both get tagged. I think Robinson probably the Bears might try to tag and trade. Yeah, and D.D. Westbrook. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Jaguars got an offense. They just have a god-awful defense. God-awful defense. Now, to be fair, Alex, I haven't watched. But you also got to remember, I've watched a little bit of Lawrence. You also got to remember the team around him too, right? Who did he have to throw to? How was his protection like? How good was his run game? You got to take in a lot of considerations when you're prospecting quarterbacks in college. I'm not going to disagree. I think the Jets should keep Sam Darnold. I swear I think they should. I think they should keep Sam Darnold, use their money, go buy a couple guys for the offensive line and a running back. Go use your draft picks to pick up some defensive guys and more offensive lines and wide receivers. Keep Darnold, trade back twice from the second round. That way you're picking up a whole bunch of second-round picks and use those second-round picks to develop a team around the dang-on quarterback that you traded up and gave up a ridiculous amount, 2 extra second-round picks to move up 3 spots in the draft to get just 3 years ago. Give this man a shot because he hasn't had any kind of help at all. But that's just me. Hey, guys, I ain't said this once in almost an hour and a half. Please hit that like button. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. Share this to your favorite social media. I may have over 1K, but I'd like to continue to grow and gain more of an audience. So thank you so much for being here. I do too, Sarah. I completely and utterly feel bad for Darnold. Utterly feel bad for Darnold. I think he'd have done really well with the Colts as long as he wasn't screwed up too much long term. I think he'd have done well with the Niners had he not been screwed up too long. Didn't know I had 1K. Got it yesterday. Got it yesterday. Daryl Ingram, thanks for answering my questions. I appreciate you. Hey, I appreciate all you guys being here and asking these questions. I am more than happy to answer questions when I have time. Like, this is what today's about, Q&A. Super Sunday Q&A. I'm going to have this every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I kind of gave that little idea about how super chats and stuff like that will work when I do these. But that's what Sunday streams will be about. But I need to
conversation.
Yeah, I love having a conversation. Even if your opinion does not match with mine, I'm good with it. You know, the world will be a boring place if we all thought the same. So thank you so much, guys. I gotta kind of decompress a little bit. I see that the chat has started to wind down a little bit. Thank you, everybody who's been here. Thank you for the questions. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for everything, the subscriptions. I got to go. John Johnson says, sign Trent Williams for 2 years, draft and tackle for development. I just don't want to sign Trent Williams for that much money. That's the only issue. We got too many other positions to fill. But it was great. Last questions. Who's a bigger Colts fan, you or your wife? Oh, I am. That's just a fact. I am.
I like the Patriots.
She's just saying that to get a rise out of chat.
They're my favorite.
She's saying she's a Patriots fan to get a rise out of chat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm out of here. Love you guys. Appreciate you. And until next time, have a good one.